Assignment. Get to know William Shakespeare. Hi, I'm Chris. William Shakespeare, English playwright, poet, and actor, regarded as the greatest writer in the English language and the world's greatest dramatist.
Born
Born April 23rd, 1564, died April 23rd, 1616. Spouse, Anne Hathaway. Children, Hamnet, Susanna, and Judith. He wrote 38 plays, 2 narrative poems, 154 sonnets, and a variety of other poems.
Hold it. I don't want facts. I want you to know Shakespeare, the person.
That is our director. According to him, we need to know who William Shakespeare, the playwright, the actor, and the director, really is. He really believes that knowing the person and discovering how they think about things will help us all understand his works and understand the English they are written in.
Here is your assignment. I want you to take William Shakespeare out to lunch and interview him. Ask him any 2 questions you would like and critique his work.
So we all did. Then we found ourselves writing a class play with excerpts from Mr. Shakespeare's works. Do we know more about William Shakespeare, and can we understand his English? You be the judge.
Ladies and gentlemen, the drama students of Lenox High School proudly present Conversations with Bill, an original play based upon the writings of our drama students and William Shakespeare.
Okay, everyone, can I have your attention? I want to show you something.
Okay, everyone, wait. I want to show you guys something. This is the mask I want you guys to make for the opening of my production of Romeo and Juliet. What do you guys think?
We have to construct a mask? I'm not so good with constructing masks. Besides, I have so many other assignments, I don't have the time. My dad just dislocated his shoulder and I have to pitch in.
Your dad's a surgeon. You operating?
It won't take long at all, I promise. I'll just send a link to a collection of masks you can choose from. You just gotta choose one and print it out and...
We don't have a printer. We don't have a computer. Geez, we don't have anything.
We have a printer.
Well, we had a printer, but then my brother took it with him to college. He's back home, but the printer is still at college.
If you need a printer, we would be happy to let anyone use ours.
Do we email or text you our choice of mask, and then will you be the one cutting out and making it?
That is great, Jacob. Thank you.
My dad makes masks, full face masks. Thanks for the offer, Jacob.
Yeah, thanks, Jacob. It's great for me. I would have forgotten I had to make a mask. What's it for, anyways?
Are you serious? We've been doing this for weeks. It's for my production of Romeo and Juliet. The opening scene is the Capulet party. Okay. Jacob, can your printer print in color?
Now, hold on, everyone. I can't just...
Are you delivering the masks or mailing? Because I am not paying shipping.
Never mind. Sorry, everyone. Just found out our printer isn't working.
Much like this production, Andrea, everyone is just being polite. The masks are a problem, and while I have your attention, I would like to talk to you about your production.
But soft. What's this I hear about a mask? I'm Romeo and I have to make my own mask. I don't want to make a mask.
Okay. No masks! Except the one I already made, and we can use that one to open the production.
I'm a little confused. Is this a production of You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, or Romeo and Juliet?
That is what I want to talk to you about. Charlie Brown as Romeo is all wrong. The two characters are polar opposites, and the little redhead girl as Juliet is just not right.
Why can't a redheaded girl be Juliet?
I have to make a mask?
Hold on here. Am I Romeo or Charlie Brown?
You're supposed to be Charlie Brown playing the part of Romeo. It makes perfect sense to me.
Understand why it's not going to work? Even Peter likes it.
What's that supposed to mean?
Hi, I'm a little confused. What Shakespeare play are we doing? I do have my costume for Juliet's Masquerade Ball, and I'm gonna be a pirate.
I really think Shakespeare can be played by anyone or any character that chooses to do so. I'm becoming a little upset.
No, don't get upset. I agree with you. Shakespeare can be played by anyone. It's just that Shakespeare created specific character traits that defined each of his characters, and we don't want to destroy his work.
Do I really have to make a mask?
Calm down, my director. It will be fine. And as your stage manager, I propose we take a 10-minute break and drink some chamomile tea.
Should I tell my tech crew to take 10, or should we continue to focus lights? Just tell me what you want, Andrea. I'll do anything you want, Andrea.
I've been working on these lights for the past 45 minutes. Don't union members get a break? Where's my union rep?
We're students at LMMHS. We don't have a union, but I'm up for a 10-minute break.
I think we need to know more about Shakespeare before we can answer these questions about character traits.
I just have to give this some thought, okay? I wish I could talk to Bill.
Bill?
Shakespeare?
You call William Shakespeare Bill.
Well, when you get to know someone, you tend to think of them as a friend, and so you can be, more like, familiar with them, and, yes. I call William Shakespeare Bill, okay?
I'll get the tea. She calls him Bill. Okay. Okay.
May I ask what is happening? Are we rehearsing or breaking? There are so many other works by the bard that need rehearsal time, and time is running short, so I suggest we do something.
Andrea is trying to communicate with Bill. Shakespeare, that is.
Well, tell her to try texting, Facebook, Twitter, and the rest take too long. I want to rehearse now.
Well, we need to tame that attitude now, don't we?
Take 10, everybody. Oh, Bill. Everything that I thought was right is just turning out to be wrong. I feel so... me.
Now you know how Juliet felt.
I know how frustrated she must have felt that she were a Capulet and Romeo were a Montague. Did she drink chamomile tea?
She did drink a tea of sorts.
Well, yeah, but that didn't turn out too well now, did it?
No comment.
But soft, though it light through yonder window breaks. It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon who is already sick and pale with grief. Thou, her maid, art far more fair than she. Be not her maid, since she is envious. Her vestal livery is but sick and green, and none but fools do wear it. Cast it off. It is my lady, oh, it is my love. Oh, that she knew she were. See how she leans her cheek upon her hand? Oh, that I were a glove upon that hand, that I might touch that cheek.
Ay, me. You know what? I'm gonna keep that concept I originally thought of. Hey, everybody! Back from break! I can definitely see my little red-headed girl saying, I, me.
You have a character named Little Red-Headed Girl, yet my public believes my character names are strange.
Who are you talking to?
Bill!
Bill who?
Bill Shakespeare,
Oh,
of course.
That Bill. Tell Bill the little red-headed girl doesn't speak.
She speaks in my version.
But her character.
She speaks.
Apparently she speaks. Please continue, Andrea.
Thank you, Bill. Oh, is it alright if I call you Bill? So many people tell me they're afraid of getting to know you. So many people tell me they don't understand you.
To be honest, I'm not sure I understand them either. However, I would be thankful and grateful to be understood.
Does anyone think it's a bit strange that Andrew's apparently conversing with Shakespeare?
May I continue? I wait my love's voice. She speaks. Oh, speak again, bright angel. For thou art as glorious to this night, being o'er my head, as is a winged messenger of heaven, unto the white upturned, wondering eyes of mortals that fall back to gaze on him, when he bestrides the lazy pacing clouds and sails upon the bosom of the air.
O Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? Deny thy father and refuse thy name. Or, if thou wilt not, be but sworn, my love, and I'll no longer be a Capulet.
Shall I hear more, or shall I speak at this?
'Tis but thy name that is my enemy. Thou art thyself, not a Montague. What's a Montague? It is nor hand, nor foot, nor arm, nor face, nor any other part belonging to a man. Oh, be some other name. What's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. So Romeo would, were he not Romeo called, retain that dear perfection which he owes without the title. Romeo, doff thy name, and for that name which is no part of thee, take all myself.
I take thee at thy word. Call me but love, and I'll be new baptized.
Doesn't anyone think it's a bit strange that Andrea is apparently conversing with Shakespeare? She's asking his advice and questioning his work.
I think we all should question his work.
Question to gain more knowledge about his work.
I have a few questions.
I would like a few answers.
Questions, questions, questions. Always questions. Over the years, I've been examined, probed, and dissected. My work has been altered, changed, and misquoted, and made into musicals. Hell, I've even been subjected to rumors that my own works have been written by other authors. And all have questions, questions, and more questions.
William Shakespeare, would you mind telling us what inspired you to start writing?
Question: How long did it take you to write Romeo and Juliet? And did you watch plays when you were a kid?
I'm playing Romeo, and I want to know why there is no clear backstory to what separates the family's conflicted relationship.
I would like to know, who is your Juliet?
Did you ever consider rewriting Romeo and Juliet's ending as a happy ending? Not changing the original, just writing an alternative ending.
I would like to know if Shakespeare accompanied his works with music.
Romeo and Juliet took a look at young love and also what happens when you bar that love, but I think the ending was rather dark and could have been much happier, like them escaping the city they lived in.
Romeo and Juliet, the greatest love story of all time, ending in a tragedy. It seems that Shakespeare knew the tragedy of losing and gained hopeful wisdom from it.
Love serves as a tragedy for Romeo and Juliet. I've done some research, and according to critic Denton J. Schneider, love, the emotion of the family, and its excess destroys the family. Though it be the origin and bond of the domestic institution, it now assails and annihilates that institution. Romeo and Juliet's love for each other not only destroys their families, but it also ultimately destroys them.
A grave. Oh no, a lantern. Slaughtered youth. For here lies Juliet, and her beauty makes this vault a feasting presence full of light. Death, lie thou there, by a dead man interred. Oh, my love, my wife, death that had sucked the honey of thy breath, hath had no power yet upon thy beauty, thou art not conquered. Beauty's ensign yet is crimson in thy lips and in thy cheeks, and death's pale flag is not advanced there. Ah, dear Juliet, why art thou yet so fair? Shall I believe that unsubstantial death is amorous, and that the lean abhorred monster keeps thee here in the dark to be his paramour? For fear that I'll stay with thee, and never from this palace of dim night depart again. Eyes, look your last. Arms, take your last embrace. And lips, oh you, The doors of breath seal a righteous kiss. A dateless bargain to engrossing death. Here's to my love. O true apothecary, thy drugs are quick. Thus with a kiss I die.
Oh, comfortable friar, where is my lord? I do remember well where I should be, and there I am. Where is my Romeo?
Thy husband in thy bosom, there lies dead. Come, I'll dispose of thee among sisterhood of holy nuns.
Go, get thee hence, for I will not away. What's here? A cup, closed in my true love's hand? Poison, I see, hath been his timeless end. Oh, churl, drunk all and left no friendly drop to help me after? I will kiss thy lips, haply some poison yet doth hang on them, to make dye with a restorative. Thy lips are warm. Yea, noise? Then I'll be brief. O happy dagger, this is thy sheath. There, rust, and let me die.
I compare thee to a summer's day. Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's leaves have all too short a day. Sometime too hot, the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed. And every fair from fair sometime declines, by chance or nature's changing course, untrimmed. But the eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose position of that fair felt us, nor shall death brag, thou wanderest in his shade. When eternal lines to time thou grows, so long as men can breathe, our eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee.
I would be very happy if someone said this to me.
Love, true love, love from first sight, how wonderfully romantic.
They die? They both choose to die? How stupidly romantic.
They should have had a prenup.
Ugh, you're missing the point. Act 2, Scene 2 is about the discovery of love, the innocence, the magic.
Please don't say the romance. Romeo is over the top and obviously loves himself.
Don't be so quick to judge Romeo. I don't recall Mr. Shakespeare ever describing Romeo's physical characteristics, and for all we know, he might not have been so hot. He might have been charming. And also, remember, it was a party, and he might have been just a wee bit tipsy. Tipsy and charming, like Captain Jack Sparrow from Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah.
Let us try to stick to Shakespeare and his works.
I am. Captain Jack is a Shakespearean character.
Yes, overly sensitive, overly flamboyant, and definitely overacted.
Methinks there's trouble brewing ahead.
Well, personally, I think your hair looks really stupid right now.
Well,
I
you
think
could do a little better on your
time
makeup,
being here, and
Pam,
I'd
and
much
your
rather
hair
looks
looks
stupid. What
stupid.
on Netflix?
Like
It's just
bright
like
yellow
a
and
waste of
maybe
time.
you could
You know
take
what
your
I'm
hair
saying?
down,
But
too.
anyways, love the lipstick.
Shut
up! Just kidding.
Oh,
Thrice the brinded cat hath mewed. Thrice and once the hedge pig whined.
Harpier cries, "'Tis time, 'tis time!"
Round about the cauldron go, in the poison entrails throw. Toad, that under cold stone days and nights has 31 sweltered venom, sleeping got, boil thou first in the charmed pot. Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble.
Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble.
Fillet of
fenny snake. In the cauldron boil and bake. Eye of newt and toe of dog, wool of bat and tongue of frog, adder's fork and blindworm's sting, lizard's leg and owlet's wing, for a charm of powerful trouble, like a hell broth boil and bubble.
Double, double, toil and trouble.
Double,
Fire
toil
burn
and
in
trouble.
cauldron
Fire
bubble.
burn in cauldron bubble.
Fire burn in cauldron bubble. Scale of dragon, tooth of wolf, witch's mummy, maw and gulf of the raven's sea salt shark. Root of hemlock, digged in the dark. Liver of swimming Jew, gall of goat, and sips of yew silvered in the moon's eclipse. Nose of Turk and Tartar's lips, fingered of birth strangled babe, ditch delivered by a drabe. Make the gruel thicken slab, and thereto a tiger's children, or the ingredients of our cauldron.
Double, double, toil and trouble.
Double,
Fire
toil and
burn in
trouble.
cauldron
Fire
bubble.
burn in cauldron
Fire
bubble.
burn in cauldron bubble.
Bill? I hate to bother you, but it seems like you stirred up a little bit of trouble. Like you always do, I might add. I have a question.
I expected more questions.
I think a lot of William Shakespeare's work had a lot of breakthroughs ideas. Macbeth took a look into insanity that hadn't been put on a theatrical manner before. I think that it was done beautifully, with manipulation of the witches at the start and a descent of madness of Lady Macbeth.
I have found that in his second folio, Shakespeare examines the moral principles of his characters, in plots that grasp the madness of murder, death, and treason.
In his work titled Macbeth, Bill writes a character who goes around killing members of the Scottish royalty in hopes of becoming the king. This sounds very strange on its own, but becomes completely outlandish when you consider the only reason he is doing this is because 3 homeless and mentally ill women muttering nonsense in a cave tell him his destiny is to rule all of Scotland.
Guys, something is afoot. I wonder. We all know Shakespeare was a writer without equal, but according to Wikipedia, my research, I found that Bill, to quote Andrea, began, continued, and ended his career in the theater as an actor. If he is talking to Andrea, could he still be acting, directing, writing from the grave? Doesn't he know he's dead? I must examine this.
Did you hear that?
Hear what?
That!
Yes, I heard that. The whole world heard that.
Well, go see what it was. Go diagnose the problem.
I have 2 nights watched with you, but can perceive no truth in your report. When was it she last walked?
Since His Majesty went into the field, I have seen her rise from her bed, throw her nightgown upon her, unlock her closet, take forth paper, fold it, write upon it, read it, afterwards seal it, and again return to bed. Yet all this while in a most vast sleep.
A great perturbation in nature. To receive at once the benefit of sleep and to the effects of watching. In this slumbery agitation, besides her walking and other actual performances, what at any time have you heard her say?
That, sir, which I will not report after her.
You may to me, and 'tis most meet you should.
Neither to you nor anyone, having no witness to confirm my speech. Lo, you, here she comes. This is her very guise, and upon my life fast asleep. Observe her, and stand close.
Came she by that light?
Why, it stood by her. She has light by her continually, 'tis her command.
You see, her eyes are open.
Aye, but their sense is shut.
What is it she does now? Look, how she rubs her hands.
It is an accustomed action with her, to seem thus washing her hands. I have known her continue this in a quarter of an hour.
Yet, here's the spot.
Hark! speaks. I'll set down what comes from her to satisfy my remembrance the more strongly.
Out, damn spot! Out, I say! 1, 2. Why then, 'tis time to do it. Hell is murky. Fie, my lord, fie! A soldier? And afeard? What need we fear who knows it when none can call our power to account? Yet, who would have thought the old man to have so much blood in him?
Do you mark that?
The Thane of Fife had a wife. Where is she now? What, will these hands ne'er be clean? No more of that, my lord, no more of that. You mar with all this starting.
Go to. You've known that what you should not.
She has spoke what she should not. I am sure of that. Heaven knows what she has known.
Here's the smell of blood still. All the perfumes of Arabia would not sweeten this little hand. Oh, oh, oh!
The sight is there. The heart is sorely charged.
I would not have such a heart in my bosom for the dignity of the whole body.
Well.
Pray God it be, sir.
This disease is beyond my practice. Yet I have known those which have walked in their sleep who have died holily in their beds.
Wash your hands. Put on your nightgown. Look not so pale. I tell you yet again, Banquo's buried. He cannot come out on's grave.
Even so?
To bed. To bed! There's knocking at the gate. Come. Give me your hand. What's done cannot be undone. To bed. To bed. To bed!
Will she go now to bed?
Directly.
Foul whisperings are abroad. Unnatural deeds do breed unnatural troubles. Infected minds to their deaf pillows will discharge their secrets. More needs she the divine than the physician. God forgive us all. Look after her. Remove from her the means of all annoyance, and still keep eyes on her. So good night. My mind she is mated, and amazed my sight. I think, but dare not speak.
Sorry, but I have to speak. Bill, are you there?
Yes, Andrea, I'm here.
I really need some advice.
What kind of advice?
And I need some rehearsal time. I can't believe we're wasting all this time on a foolish Charlie Brown production of Romeo and Juliet.
It's not foolish, it's just that Charlie Brown's a bit timid.
Well, who could have predicted that? I'm surprised he's not hiding in the doghouse with Snoopy. Or is Snoopy the friar?
Snoopy would never take a role like that. He would be Mercutio. It would be a big death scene. A plague on both your doghouses.
Enough time has been spent already. Bill, if you really are there, help this obviously insecure lady director, or we will never get to my scene.
I hate to bring this up again, but no one is the least bit worried that Andrea believes that she's communicating with William Shakespeare.
And what is wrong with a woman having a conversation with a great man? Is she not allowed? Is she considered beneath those conversations? William, or should I say Bill, recognized the intelligence and power of women some 400 years ago. You're a little behind the times, PJ.
I need help, and so does Andrea. Help!
I'll take over, PJ. Andrea, tell your Romeo to be in charge. Take control of the situation. Tell him to proceed with strength and knowledge, that he will be successful, no matter what the task. Tell him to be a man's man.
How now, my friend? Hortensio, why dost thou look so pale?
For fear, I promise you, if I look pale.
What? Will my daughter prove a good musician?
I think she'll sooner prove a soldier. Iron may hold with her, but never lutes.
Why, then thou canst not break her to the lute?
Why, no, for she hath broke the lute to me. I did but tell her she mistook her frets, and bowed her hand to teach her fingering, and with that word she struck me on the head. And though the instrument my pate made way, and there I stood amazed for a while.
Now, by the world, it is a lusty wench. I love her 10 times more than I did. Oh, how I long to have some chat with her.
Senior Petruchio, will you go with us, or shall I send my daughter Kate to you?
I pray you do. I will attend her here, and woo her with some spirit when she comes. Say that she rail. Why then I'll tell her plain, she sings as sweetly as a nightingale. Say that she frown. I'll say she looks as clear as morning roses newly washed with dew. Say she be mute, and will not speak a word. Then I'll commend her volubility, and say she uttereth piercing eloquence. If she do bid me pack, I'll give her thanks, as though she bid me stay by her a week. If she deny to wed, I'll crave the day when I shall ask the banns, and when we be married. But here she comes, and now, Petruchio, speak. Good morrow, Kate, for that's your name, I hear.
Well, have you heard but something hard of hearing? They call me Catherine that do talk of me.
You lie. In faith, for you are called plain Kate, and bonny Kate, and sometimes Kate the Cursed. But Kate, the prettiest Kate in Christendom, Kate of Kate Hall, my super dainty Kate, and therefore, Kate, take this of me, Kate of my consolation, hearing thy mildness praised in every town, thy virtue spoke of, and thy beauty sounded. Myself am moved to woo thee for my wife.
Moved in good time. Let him that moved you hither remove you hence. I knew you at first, you were immovable.
Why, what's immovable?
A joint stool.
Thou hast hit it. Come, sit on me.
Asses are made to bear, and so are you.
Women are made to bear, and so are you.
No such jade as you, if me you mean.
Alas, good Kate, I will not burden thee, for knowing thee to be but young and light.
Too light for such a swain as you to catch, and yet as heavy as my weight should be.
Should be, should buzz.
Well ta'en and like a buzzard.
Oh, slow-winged turtle, shall a buzzard take thee?
Aye, for a turtle as he takes a buzzard.
Come, come, you wasp, I faith you are too angry.
If I be waspish, best beware my sting.
My remedy is then to pluck it out.
Aye, if the fool could find it where it lies.
Who knows? Not where a wasp does wear his sting, in his tail.
In his tongue.
Whose tongue?
Yours, if you talk of tails, and so farewell.
What, with my tongue in your tail? Nay, come again, Kate, I am a gentleman.
That I'll try.
Good for you, Catherine. Hit him again if he dares insult you. Can anyone imagine what it was like for women in the late 1500s, especially women with a superior intellect? Women like Catherine. I mean, does anyone in Padua even try and figure out why she's called a shrew? Maybe William should have explained to the men in his audience why she's called a shrew. Perhaps they thought she was afraid of heights and her room was in an attic. Or maybe the whole marriage and kids thing just wasn't for her. But every lady in the audience knew why she's called a shrew. Catherine, like all women, just want to be respected for their minds.
You really think Catherine had a superior intellect and a high IQ?
Yeah. Why do you think she acted like she did? Sheer boredom.
I agree with Emily. It's easy to be bored and angry trying to communicate with some people.
Especially some men who are not on your level of intelligence.
Are you directing that remark towards me?
Did I score a direct hit?
Don't take it personal. It's not your fault that you're limited.
Limited? Limited? What does that mean? Limited.
Don't get upset, Alex. We're just stating facts.
Facts? What facts? And what do you mean by limited?
That women have a higher intelligence level and, in most matters, a deeper and more accurate assessment of true knowledge, which makes most men realize how inferior they are as a sex, which causes them to react in a most adolescent and childish way, throwing tantrums and fits of anger.
We do not. We just don't. You're wrong. We do not throw tantrums. We do not. We do not.
If the shrew fits.
Cut. Hold it. Not funny at all. An attempt, I suppose, by our teacher to create levity, perhaps to draw a laugh no matter how large or small.
I thought it had a degree of humor, an element of mirth, if you will.
In truth, as William might say, not funny, not worthy of Bill.
I'll tell you what's funny. I'm a freshman and he wants me to learn Hamlet. To laugh or not to laugh, that is the question.
At your performance? Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of your performance, or just leave and chalk it up to indigestion.
All this discussion due to our teacher's pun.
Due to the pun that wasn't fun.
How can you discuss our teacher's feeble to try to make Shakespeare fun? He's making me become Henry V.
You doing Henry V. No, I'm doing Henry V, and the fact that he asked you to is getting me ready for battle. I am Henry. I am Henry. I am Henry. You know, I really hope I'm Henry.
Henry V, Henry V, stop complaining. At least you don't have to say if the shrew fits.
And speaking of the shrew fitting, Noah, would you mind if I continued?
Not at all. Please, be my Petruchio.
Mary, so I mean, sweet Katharina, in thy bed, and therefore, setting all this chat aside, thus in plain terms, your father hath consented that you shall be my wife. You dowry greed on, and will you nill you, I will marry you. Now, Kate, I am a husband for your turn, for by this light whereby I see thy beauty that doth make me like thee will, thou must be married to no man but me. For I am he born to tame you, Kate, and bring you from a wild Kate to a Kate conformable as other household Kates. Here comes your father, never make denial. I must and will have Katharina to my wife.
Now, Signor Petruchio, how speed you with my daughter?
How but well, sir? How but well?
Why, how now, daughter Katharina, in your dumps?
Call you me daughter? Now, I promise you, you've showed me a tender fatherly regard to wish me wed to one half lunatic, madcap ruffian, and a swearing jack that thinks with oaths to face the matter out. I'll see thee hanged on Sunday first.
Another prenup, Lawyers must have loved Shakespeare.
According to Andrea, Bill is back at it again, folks. I mean, William Shakespeare has arisen from the grave and is possibly releasing a new play starring Charlie Brown. However, before this new piece of art is unveiled, let's talk about his original works. His plays are completely timeless. They can apply to every generation and always relate to something going on in today's world.
I would love to ask Shakespeare if he thought his works would be this important and this eventful in the modern day. I think in his Taming of the Shrew, Shakespeare was trying to prove through his writing that women should have a voice, but overall let the man win in the situation because he knew that would please the masses of people who, at the time, were going to his plays.
Hi, Mr. Shakespeare. Katie here. Did you ever think that you would be this popular in the future? Students dissect your work and actors take on the roles of your characters. You're very popular. And I have a second question regarding the to be or not to be monologue.
Oh God, I can't do this.
Are you doing all right? That speech by Hamlet is kind of sad, and it's kind of like you're contemplating living, or at least your character is. And I'm assuming that you're working off personal ideas. You might not be, in which case you can disregard this question.
I've never done something like this before. Why do I have to perform the speech? I really don't know who, what, or when it is to be or not to be. I'm really a Sound of Music kind of guy. William Shakespeare. Quite a guy. The world-renowned writer and actor, William Shakespeare, is said by some to be the end-all be-all of theatrical writing. Does William really deserve all this credit, or is he just another overhyped, intellectually minded man? Overall, the love of William Shakespeare's work can be credited to people who want to sound smarter than everyone else, so they give absurd meaning to some crazy old dead guy from England. Okay, Bill, here's a question. When Hamlet gives the to be or not to be monologue, was it your intention to have him question things such as the reason to live? Or is that simply people giving meaning to something that is not super deep? Hamlet. To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the sling and arrows of outrageous fortune, I'm not getting anywhere. Or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing them, to die. Damn it, I'm going to die presenting this.
I've been watching remotely. What are you worried about?
I'm worried about not getting it.
Not getting what?
Not getting the monologue right. You know, not being able to move on with it.
And not getting to go anywhere when you have, right?
Exactly. I can't seem to get out of this
state of mind you're in. I felt the same way.
I can't seem to make a decision. It's as if
someone is holding your mind hostage, and you're suspended in time, not being able to move, and you ponder, you think, to be or not to be. That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing end them, to die, to sleep. No more, and by a sleep to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to, 'tis a consummation devoutly to be wished, to die, to sleep. To sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death what dreams may come, when we have shuffled off this mortal coil, must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who could bear the whips and scorns of time, the pressor's wrongs, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of dispersed love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself his quittus make with a bare bodkin? Who would fardels bear to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country, from whose bourne no traveller returns, puzzles the will, and makes us rather bear those ills we have than to fly to others we know not of.
thus conscience does take cowards of us all, and thus the native hue of resolution is sickled o'er with the pale cast of thought, and enterprises of great pitch and moment, with disregard their currents turn awry, and lose the name of action.
This monologue from Hamlet is just another example of Will's deep understanding of the universal human experience, with almost fantastical characters that are nonetheless human and relatable. Hamlet was frustrated and contemplated the meaning of his existence, as we all do one way or another at some point.
Are there any messages you tried to convey in your writing?
I have a question for Mr. Shakespeare. Why did you write Hamlet? Was it because the loss of your son, or just because you thought of it randomly and you wanted to include your late son's name?
William Shakespeare, arguably the most impactful dramatist and poet of the English language, explores a broad range of archetypal themes that were applicable to ancient Greek myths, to kings and queens of Europe, to religious controversies that enveloped the monarchies, to the politics of waging war, to the customs and societal practices that were unique to England, and most significantly, to the basic sins of human nature. Among his 36 plays, Shakespeare wrote historical dramas, fictionalized tragedies, and comedies. Within his first folio collection, Shakespeare reimagines the political affairs of historic wars and triumphs in the face of insurmountable adversaries. The mercy that was quick in us but late, by your own counsel is suppressed and killed. You must not dare, for shame, to talk of mercy. For your own reasons turn to bosoms as dogs upon their masters, worrying you. See you, my princes and my noble peers, these English monsters. What shall I say to thee, Lord Scroop? Thou cruel, ingrateful, savage, and inhuman creature,
Thou that's were the key of all my counsels, that's knew the very bottom of my soul, that almost might stuff coin to me in the gold, wouldst thou practice on me for thy use? May it be possible that foreign hire could out of thee extract one spark of evil that might annoy my finger. It is so strange that though the truth of it stands off as gross as black and white, my eye will scarcely see it. Such and so finely bolted dost thou seem. And thus thy fall left a kind of blot to mark the full-fraught man, best endued with some suspicion. I'll weep for thee, for this revolt of thine, methinks, is like another fall of man. Their faults are open. Arrest them to the answer of the law, and God acquit them of their practices.
My cast for the Charlie Brown remote version of Romeo and Juliet. Please remember remote rehearsal after regular remote classes. We will be remotely rehearsing Act 5, Scene 3.
Andrea, we have a problem. You're Romeo. Mr. Charlie Brown refuses to kiss Juliet. I tried to explain to him it is a remote kiss, but he doesn't care. He just can't. What should I do?
That is not what I said, Andrea. I said in grand Shakespearean style, I will not kiss remotely. It must be in person, and can I use a hockey stick instead of a sword to slay Paris at the end?
Hockey stick? Bill, I need your advice. Bill, are you there? Bill, where are you?
There she goes again. No to the word that our friend is directing a cartoon character version of Romeo and Juliet and seems to be having a conversation with William Shakespeare himself. I, for one, think that possibly...
Listen up, PJ. I believe each line that Shakespeare writes has many different interpretations that he intended for the audience to pick up on. So each time an individual reads or views his works, they each have a different experience with his works. However, his complicated text can be inaccessible to some, either because they are younger or do not have the passion to take apart his works. And so not everyone takes the time to read or comprehend his stories. So presenting them through a vehicle younger audiences can understand is why Charlie Brown doing Shakespeare will work.
Thank you, Angie, director. I like the way you think. I would listen to her if I were you, PJ.
Who said that? Bill? Bill, was that you?
Quiet, PJ. Jacob is about to deliver his monologue from Henry.
I want to know what's going on. You want me to believe Shakespeare is existing here in this theater today?
Hush up, PJ.
We don't have to go to war over this, or do we?
What's he that wishes so? My cousin Westmoreland? No, my fair cousin. If we are marked to die, we are now to do our country loss. And if to live, the fewer men, greater share of honor. God's will, I pray thee, wish not one man more. By Jove, I am not covetous for gold, nor care I who doth feed upon my cost. It yearns me not if men my garments wear. Such outward things dwell not in my desires. But if it be a sin to covet honor, then I'm the most offending soul alive. No, faith, my coz, wish not a man from England. God's peace, I would not lose so great an honor as one man more, methinks, would share from me for the best hope I have. Oh, do not wish one more. Rather, proclaim it, Westmoreland, through my host, that he which hath no stomach to this fight, let him depart. His passport shall be made, and crowns for convoy put into his purse. We would not die in that man's company that fears his fellowship to die with us. This day is called the Feast of Crispian. He that outlives this day and comes safe home will stand a tiptoe when the day is named and rouse him at the name of Crispian. He that shall live this day and see old age will yearly on the vigil feast his neighbors and say, "Tomorrow is Saint Crispian." Then will he strip his sleeves and show his scars and say, "These wounds I had on Crispin's day." Old men forget, yet all shall be forgot, but he'll remember with advantages what feats he did that day, and then shall our names, familiar in his mouth as household words, Harry the King, Bedford and Exeter, Warwick and Talbot, Salisbury and Gloucester, be in their flowing cups freshly remembered. This story shall the good man teach his son, and Crispin Crispian shall ne'er go by, from this day to the ending of the world. But we in it shall be remembered, we few, we happy few, we band of brothers. For he today that sheds his blood with me shall be my brother. Be he ne'er so vile, this day shall gentle his condition. And gentlemen in England, now abed, shall think themselves accursed they were not here with us, and hold their manhoods cheap whiles any speak that fought with us upon St. Crispin's Day.
I would ask him, what inspired you to write? Was it a love of writing from his childhood or an escape?
In all my years, I have never witnessed such a theatrical delight as anything made by the man who goes by the name William Shakespeare. His wonderful stories are so creative, and he is the Einstein of playwrights. 10 out of 10 would highly recommend to anyone who wishes to become part of such a magnificent world and feel the emotion of each character in it.
After reading some of Shakespeare's work, my honest opinion is that I just don't like it. As someone who loves plays and literature, I was hoping to enjoy his work as well, but I did not. I found myself forcing myself to read his works and wanting so bad to enjoy it. However, it began to feel like a chore, and I finally had to be honest with myself that Shakespeare just isn't for me. I don't like it because I feel he uses too many words to say what he wants, which then confuses the reader even more so. You should really pay more attention to the less is more saying.
If you're bored of typical modern literature, stop whatever you're doing right now and read some goddamn Shakespeare. You will spend more time trying to understand what the hell is going on than you will reading. You may hate that, but you'll surely love to hate it. Shakespeare is your perfect starter kit for existential crises, tragic love twists, and family feuds. How can one not love it? He offers a wildly different and poignant perspective on life.
William Shakespeare's plays are a source of joy, despair, comedy, a place where romance blooms and explodes in colors. So how does he do it? How does he write these spectacular plays? Some of his plays are based on historical events, but others seem to be complete imagination. Many of his pieces are seen as majorly bold for the times they were written, in times where many of the things he wrote about would be frowned upon in light of social standards at the time. But now it is viewed as brilliance. Millions of people know his name and his plays, although due to Old English it has become increasingly more difficult to understand the words and meanings within his plays. If I had to describe his plays with one word, I would say that they are explosive.
How would you like to be remembered, Bill?
Just being remembered is an admirable reward, and I thank you all for remembering.
Andrea, your Romeo just stabbed Tybalt with a hockey stick.
Good grief.